بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Can everyone see my slide? Can anyone confirm that you see the slide?
Yes, Tagwe, yes.
Inshallah. Okay, Jazakallah khair. Okay, inshallah. So today we'll talk about zakat and how to calculate zakat, and we'll give you time inshallah for question and answer as well, inshallah. So very briefly introduction, zakat is a spiritual reality. So we all know zakat is one of the pillars of Islam, and if we give zakah increases and purifies our wealth. Zakah increases and purifies our wealth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Tawbah, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا. That take from their wealth, it is sadaqah. Now, here is a note. In the Quran, the term sadaqah and zakah used for one another, so interchangeably used. Now, zakah, in addition to zakah increases our wealth, zakah purifies us from miserliness and stinginess. So what we need to do, many of us, we don't give zakah. Many of us, we try to find loophole to save our tax money. So same attitude comes to the zakat, that we try to find loopholes so we can avoid zakah, right? So that should not be the case, because zakah is like salat, right? You should not try to find excuse not to pray. You should try to find out to excuse to pray. Same thing, you should not try to find out excuse not to fast, but to fast. Same thing, do not try to avoid zakah, try to give zakah. And my estimation says many of us, we do not know how to properly calculate zakah. As a result, what we do, we give more sadaqah than zakah, when it's like you are not praying 5 daily prayers, but you are praying more Tarawih prayer, right? 20 rakat Tarawih prayer and 17 rakat is Farz. So daily, we have people who pray 20 rakat Tarawih, but do not pray 17 rakat Farz prayer daily. So that's problematic. So please make sure that you pray Tarawih, but before you pray Tarawih, you complete the Farz. Same thing, ensure you give zakah, and then you give sadaqah. And when your calculation is right, then you try to give more. You try to give more. Now, second challenge about zakah is we give zakah. Zakah is given with a purpose, for a purpose, to change people's conditions from poverty to financially and economically live above the poverty level, right? So usually the way we give zakah, $10, $5 here, little bit here, little bit, is like filling the pothole here and there, instead of with long-term strategies. So we don't give zakah for change. So we should give zakah to a person. So then, if it means that few of us, we need to come together, so every year at least one person become financially independent. So that's why it says make group if needed. Then I believe that poor people are not necessarily poor because they do not have money. They do not have money, of course, that's why they're poor. But one of the reasons they're poor because even though you give them money, is still they do not know how to manage money, so they remain poor. So that's why giving zakah is not enough. Uh, Putting a system in place so uh, um, the poor person will get enough money to be financially independent, but at the same time, your friend, you don't make decision for them. You don't become their boss by giving zakat to them, but there should be an institution. There should be some form of relationship that you guide them, help them to grow and to maintain that money until they are self-independent. So why you do it? Because you would like to maximize your legacy and your impact. Now, when you come to the zakah, we need to understand some terms. Number one is hawl, means zakah is, like for salah, there is a time for each salah. So you need to understand the time. For Ramadan, there is time, which month, from what time it begin, what time you end. So there is a time. So it's for zakah, same thing. Zakah is yearly responsibility, yearly responsibility. Hawl means time. So 1 year must be complete. The problem is that our 1 year, usually I have this question, if anyone would like to answer this. Someone gives zakah every year, calculate and give. Someone calculate and give zakah every year, December 31st. Another person, he does calculate and give zakah every year, first day of Ramadan. Are they both calculating their zakah in a right way, or one of them is wrong, another one of them is right?
I think both are right.
Someone says both are right. Right? Is there anyone else? The answer is one of them is wrong. Answer is one of them is wrong. Why one of them is wrong? The one who does calculate and gives zakah on December 31st, so his fiscal year is based on solar calendar, 350, 65 days. Wherever our zakah is it must be followed by Islamic calendar. One lunar calendar means in one lunar calendar is total number of days are 354 days, not 365 days, 11 days late, lesser than solar calendar. So you do not start Ramadan based on solar calendar. So last year Ramadan began, right? 11 days. It was, I think, April 12, and this year we started April 2nd, something like this, right? So if anyone is this is one big concept that many people do not understand. It should be 1 year, but one lunar year, 354 days. Right? We'll give you the solution as well. Second is Nisab. Nisab, a minimum amount of asset that separates you from that is the barrier between two categories. If you have Nisab amount of money, you're supposed to give zakah. And if you have below amount of Nisab, then you don't have to give zakah. In addition, you may actually can be considered as recipient of zakah. So that's the tricky part. Nisab is important, that how much money you must have in order to give zakah. For example, for Sharia, you must have age of puberty before the fasting and salah become compulsory upon you, right? For zakah, same thing. But at the same time, the minimum amount, let's say what time you end suhoor, what time you start iftar, same thing. When you need to start calculating your, not calculating, when you need to give your zakah. So in calculation, you need to know the nisab. And this nisab can be different for different categories. So that shows us for zakat, there are different categories. So one category is gold and silver, and then there is another category is business, and business and gold and silver is same nisab, but for livestock is different nisab, for produce different nisab. So when you do the calculation, you need to know there are categories. So there is a time, there is a nisab, howl, nisab categories. Then also you need to know how to calculate. Then when calculation is done, you need to know when to give and who to give, or who give to, who you can give your zakat to. Does anyone have any questions so far? No. Okay, good. So now, what we are suggesting in response to howl or time, that have your zakat calculation day. How many of you have a zakat calculation day? What do I mean by zakat calculation day? A day from lunar calendar, from Islamic calendar, a fixed day for your lifetime. Of course, emergency accident, that will be forgiven. But in general, you fix a day from Islamic calendar for your lifetime, that every year on that day you complete your zakat calculation, right? For example, for many, the fiscal year ends December 31st. So your fiscal year, all zakat fiscal year should end every at last day of Shaban, so first day of Ramadan, or maybe Ramadan is busy time, you can do zakat calculation on any Islamic calendar, Ramadan first, Ashura, or doesn't need to, but it has to be same day every year, right? And when you are calculating every Islamic calendar, right, on the same day, and separate calculation for zakah is individual ibadah like salah and fasting, salah, saum, and hajj, and so individual. So you do not fast on behalf of your wife. You do not fast on behalf of your children. You do not fast on behalf. You do not pray on behalf of your children. You, if they are baligh, you allow them. You teach them how to pray, how to fast, and you allow them to do their part, their compulsory part. And the zakat calculation, when you do zakat calculation as a family, you need to make sure that every child of your home, and also your spouse, everyone is doing their own zakat calculation. I personally feel it is not compulsory in Islam, but I personally feel we must have zakat calculation day for everyone, and we must do zakat calculation every year. That this day should be zakat calculation day for everyone. And then on the zakat calculation day, we must do our calculation. And after doing the calculation, our calculation will tell us, it's like tax return day. So zakat return day, right? April 31st. After completing that return, it will tell you, should you give zakat this year or not? But if you don't complete this process, then how do you know how much zakah you should be given? And even, do you have to give zakat this year or not, right? Now, another big problem is when you do give zakah, you calculate your zakah, and then you give your zakah, we need to maintain the record. We need to maintain the record, right? I call it zakah bookkeeping, up to date. So in case, if you did not pay your zakah full, or you overpaid, so next year when you do the zakat calculation day, so it will help you to up to date your book. So every year zakat calculation day, you up to date your zakah bookkeeping, and then every time you give zakah in advance, or within the time. So in advance, or so you give zakah, you can give zakah before zakah calculation day. As soon as you give zakah in advance, you need to report it and to write it on your zakah bookkeeping day, the bookkeeping system. And then on the zakah calculation day, that should be adjusted. And if you pay anything on zakah calculation day, that should be recorded. And if you pay zakah after the zakat calculation day until next zakat calculation day, everything should be recorded. So that will give you the accurate, tax return. So all income and everything is throughout the year. You put everything in record. So that shows you. how much you're supposed to pay tax and how much you're supposed to get the tax back. So far, does anyone have any question? Any questions so far? Islam.
So if I fix my Zakat calculation, they say, for example, Ramadan 10, that
Yes.
should be fine, or it has to be first day of Ramadan?
No, it's your choice. Your choice. So if what we are saying, you must have Zakat calculation day and make it a day for everyone. So it's a family day. That day you do Zakat calculation for your children. You show them and engage them. That's what we said. Share means when you pray, your children learn salah from you. When you fast, you break your fast. You do suhoor. You allow your children to experience. Experiential learning has huge impact in our children and even in us as well. So Zakat calculation day, there should be Zakat bookkeeping for everyone, and then you do it for everyone. But the day, which day you will fix, right? It could be, because it moves every year. So it could be first one year it could be Saturday, another one could be Sunday, another year would be Sunday, but you don't change the actual day. Let's say Ramadan 10. So are you comfortable with Ramadan 10? So every year Ramadan 10, you do the Zakat, and you need to understand, one year it could be working day, another work year it will be Dawat day on the same Zakat calculation day, another day will be Bangladesh. You're going to Bangladesh, also traveling day. Another year it will be, camp day, So it will be challenging in that way, right? But you need to have this commitment, because regardless of all those things, when you're Ramadan and you plan ahead for Ramadan. Same thing for Zakat calculation day. If you know that is the Zakat calculation day, you plan accordingly. But Zakat, which day you choose, you need to have two things you need to know about this Zakat. So if you're choosing Ramadan 10 or Muharram 1st or Zil Hajj 10, I don't know, right? Zil Hajj 10 is usually Eid day, right? You'd like to do Zakat calculation on Zil Hajj 10. Good for you, but it's your choice. When you choose it, we advise that you maintain it same day for your lifetime. Clear?
Yeah, Jazakallah.
Any other questions? So far, so good. So understanding Nisab. So understanding Nisab is this. Zakat net worth, right? Greater than Nisab. Then you owe Zakat, right? If Nisab is less than total net worth, then you owe Zakat. And Zakat net worth, Nisab is bigger than the net worth, then you don't owe Zakat this year. So that's separate. If you owe Zakat, you are in one group, and you don't owe Zakat, you are in another group. So this is very important to understand this Nisab. So this is the concept of Nisab. So what is that Nisab? If we talk about gold, then 3 ounces gold, right? Or 87.48 grams of gold, or their cash equivalent, or their whatever, right? And if our combination of both, right, makes the value, right, of 3 ounces of gold, or 21 ounces, or 612.36 grams of silver, right? So this is Nisab for what? Gold and silver. So now, if 1 gram silver is 0.66, then minimum amount you must have $404.15. And if you have that much money on Zakat calculation day, right? Or if you have the same worth of silver, then you need to give Zakat. So this is a minimum amount. And if you have this amount or more than this, then you have to pay Zakat. Okay? Now, before we move on, before we move on, we need to know few things here. Number one, I'm always very good. Okay, so number one, there are different categories. And today we'll be talking about only two categories. Briefly, we'll talk about business categories, understanding that not every one of us were businessmen. So if you are in business, we'll talk about it, but that will be briefly. Then we'll talk about, so another group is our personal zakah. So personal zakah is specifically gold and silver. Now, gold and silver, this category has a specific name, and that is currency. In the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they did not have this paper currency or digital currency or cryptocurrency. They used to consider and use gold and silver as currency. So when we talk about gold and silver, it is under the same category: gold, silver, money. Gold, silver, money, your bank account and everything goes under one category, including crypto under one category, that is currency. Okay, so and then Nisab for that, and Nisab for that is there are two Nisab. One is gold, one is silver. So how should we recommend? And right now, if you see, the gold price is higher, and silver price is really lower. So minimum amount for gold, Nisab for gold is around 5,000, and Nisab for silver is 500. So which one you look? So what we say, for your all money, if you have money and all cash, investment and everything, your Nisab should be considered as silver, so lowest one. So around 500, if you have $500, then you give zakah, right? But only for gold, you make it another category. So for gold, the minimum Nisab will be around 5,000. So if it is not 5,000, you don't give zakah. So we are talking about two categories, is silver and cash, and gold separately. But if you'd like to maximize your reward, it's better to put everything together. So gold, silver, and cash, keep crypto, everything together under one category, currency category, and we'll take the silver as our Nisab, which is around $500 or $600. We'll see what is the day of today's price. We'll figure it out. But it's around $500 to $600. So we're talking about gold, silver, and all currencies that's under one category as a personal asset. And on the personal asset, how can we calculate zakah, and how much minimum should be there, and how we'll figure it out, how to deduct a loan and other things. So far, so good. Any questions?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
When we are talking about the gold things, gold also has a category, because 22 carat, 21 carat, 20 carat, these all are the different prices. So what should we do then?
Okay, good. Any other question? No. Okay, good. So let's talk about here now. So by now we understood that each one of should have the zakat calculation day from Islamic calendar, right? And on the zakat calculation day, this is something we are recommending. So you have this list, okay? So on the zakat calculation day, on that specific day, you look at your money bag, your fridge, your pillow, wherever you hide your all cash, I don't know, right? Any cash available, you put them there. Okay, so I will go step by step, and if anyone has a question, stop me. Brother Masood, I will answer your question in a minute, inshallah. So you put all cash. Now, second one is cash able in banks. So you don't have cash with you, but something, if it is with someone else, and you can cash them today in your checking account or savings account. from any income that may came from rent or business. So we are putting everything under one category, money category. So business will be separate now. So from business, from your rent, from profit, dividend, someone gave you, a salary check. You did not cash it, but you can cash it now. So you have the check, the written check in your hand, but you did not cash it. But if you go today, you can cash it. So anything cashable, you put it here. So first is cash, including your coins and everything. Second one is cashable. Third one is now the sale value of the gold. Go to the goldprice.com and see what is the so here is a two point. Point number one, before your Zakat calculation day, as you buy, before your Zakat calculation day, as you buy your gold and gold for your wife and whatnot, you take all gold before Zakat calculation day, you take all gold to a goldsmith. And they will tell you two things. Total how much gold you have, right? And based on which carat. So 14 carat, 16 carat, 18 carat, 20 carat. So you'll have the list of gold in your what is it called, a safety box and whatnot, wherever you have. So how much gold you have, but you need to have only even in jewelry. And when we're talking about gold, we're talking about all types of gold, including what you use. So daily use and everything. There are differences of opinion, but this is what we recommend. So you need to have that list that I have this gold. Now, if there is items like a plate of gold, right? So gold plate, or the showpiece of the showpiece made of gold. If what is it called? Allah. For gift item, those things, if it has half or more than half gold in it, then it should be zakatable, right? So one thing is, usually in jewelry, there are some added elements there, but those added elements is not more than 50%. It's maybe 20%, 30%, unless you buy from another, I don't know which country, to put 60% non-gold. And so if it is minimum 50% gold in it, then you add to zakatable item. So of course, now 14 karat to 22 karat, you need to know how much gold in it, and extra elements you will separate. So you need to know weight of the gold and category of the gold, right? And below 14 karat gold, anything below 14 karat, you don't need to add them. This is not in our calculation. So on Zakat calculation day, you just need to go to the goldprice.com and you put, okay, I have that much 14 karat and the carat, and then the 22 karat, and it automatically they will give you the price, how much you will get money if you sell it today. If you sell it today. So this is the way you find out this number. I put 0. It shows I don't have gold. My wife may, but not me. Okay, silver, same thing. So sell price today, if you sell it. So 4 items we covered. Now you have long-term investment, not short-term one. Long daily, you buy daily, you are in business, you buy stock, you sell stock, that's business. But if you have long-term investment in stock and mutual fund, then what if whatever the paper value, you put the 30% of this, 30%. So let's say you have $100, the paper value is $100, then you put $30 here. Why? That is beyond our scope today, but it's a very complex discussion, right? Now we have another cashable now, right? There are some let's say CPP you cannot, if you'd like to withdraw today, so you cannot withdraw. But RRSP, RESP, some retirement funds, you can actually, if you would like to withdraw it today, you can do it. It's your choice, right? It's not that you're stuck, right? CPP, if you would like to go to a government today and say, I would like to withdraw CPP, they will not allow you. So that's not part of this. But if you were to cash RRSP, RESP, all right, then you have to pay some penalty and tax. So whatever you're supposed to get after deducting, after paying the penalty and tax, that's the amount is zakatable. Now, here is a note here, RESP specifically. If your child has reached the age of puberty, if your child has reached the age of puberty, and please pay attention to this, if your child has reached the age of puberty, you live in Canada, and you open an account for them, RESP account, and you put the money there, and money is of more than $500, $600, $500, $600, whichever we're talking about, Nisab, then on Zakat calculation day, you do the calculation for them and show them how much money they have. And if you'd like to disclose them, not to disclose them, that's up to you. But you at least show them some understanding that how you are calculating Zakat for their RESP every year, and you pay Zakat on behalf of them. So they do understand that they need to pay Zakat and how they're paying Zakat. Later on, they can do themselves, inshallah. Now, you gave someone loan too, and they're supposed to, you're expecting, we're saying good loan. That means you're expecting to get them back. So that has to be put here. And then you have cryptocurrency, right? If again, cryptocurrency is cashable. It's like if you cash it today, how much you're supposed to get that you. These are all your asset total. This is zakatable asset is total $4,000, right? Then you deduct your short-term loan. Short-term loan. So what does short-term loan means? Mortgage is long-term loan. Car in finance, long-term loan. Student loan, long-term loan. In general, we do not carry that much cash compared to our mortgage amount and others. So if you minus loan of your mortgage, most of the eligible, zakat eligible people, they do not have to give zakat. So that's why you need to know that long-term loan has nothing to do with the zakat calculation. It's short-term loan. And what is a short-term loan? In general, scholars say 1 year, and some say 1 month. I personally say, if you can, you do the calculation, but if you can, do not even deduct. But any payment you have to pay, your this month bill, water bill of this month, your property tax of this month, that you can go up to 1 year, depending on how much money you have. But if you have only $4,000, let's say, and then you are deducting $40,000 because of 1 year, your mortgage payment is $40,000. Then at the end of the day, you are not paying zakat. So that's why our first slide said, try to find excuse to give zakah, not to avoid zakah. And whatever final number, so your total asset minus your total short-term loan for a month at least, right? And then whatever total amount, that is zakatable amount. And here we put $500, and 2.5% of $500, this is the zakat you need to give, $12.50. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, I have two questions.
Yes.
One is the RESP. So before puberty, is it like mandatory that parents have to give?
Before puberty, it is not forced for them. But as soon as they reach the puberty, it everything become compulsory. Salat become compulsory on them, and then fasting become compulsory on them. Zakah become compulsory on them.
No. For them, it's mandatory after that. But before that, is it parents have to give that zakat?
No. Before that, the zakah is not compulsory upon children who has not reached age of puberty yet. No.
So basically, if I have a RESP, I don't have to pay zakat for that.
No, you
Because
don't have to. Again,
Okay.
there is first of all, this is, I think we need to clarify one point. You don't have to pray on behalf of your children if they has not reached out age of puberty. You don't have to fast on behalf of your children
Okay.
if they have not reached out age of puberty. Same thing, you don't have to give zakah on behalf of them. They have, if they don't reach out, reach the age of puberty. Number one. But you also don't have to give, you don't pray for, you don't pray on behalf of them after they reach the age of puberty. You don't fast on behalf of them after they reach the age of puberty. Same thing, you don't give zakah, and it's not mandatory upon you to give zakah on behalf of them if they reach the age of puberty. It is their mandatory. It is our problem. We teach them, okay, pray, 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 and we say fast, fast, fast. When it's zakah comes, we don't even talk to them. And we think it is our responsibility. This is very important. It's not your responsibility. What is our responsibility as a parents? To educate them, to remind them, to help them to perform them, to facilitate them. But it is their zakah, it is their money. They need to understand this is a pillar of Islam. They can perform from their age of puberty. They must perform from their age of puberty.
Okay, Jazakallah. Second
Yeah.
question is that the car payment, you mentioned that you mentioned that for finance. How about the lease?
Lease, how should we put the lease? 1 second. Yeah, so lease is kind of rent. So it's also for that month, it's that it is, lease is not kind of loan directly. How should we put it? It's a kind of loan, yes. So a kind of loan means you are using their service, and you are at every month, for that month you have to pay, so you can minus it. Yes, for I personally, what I do, so I will tell you, this is, the scholar says 1 year. So to be honest, to be transparent, I give you that 1 year window. So when I look at my total debt and then look at 1 year minus, I found for the majority people, they, a good number of people, not for a good number of people, don't say the majority, because majority is what is called mid income people. So their debt, especially because of mortgage and then lease, car lease or finance, and student loan, is 1 year means they are not eligible to give zakah most of the time. So that's why I say, okay, do the calculation, minus it, then look at your situation. Can you give zakah? If you can give zakah, so even for calculation wise, you minused it. But in actual giving, you give on this 4,000. On this 4,000. But if it is, let's say, $4 million and 1 million, you have the minus for 1 year, your payment is 1 million. So Sharia wise, you can give zakah on 3 million. Yes, okay, still good. But if your first one is 1 million and second one is actually 10 million, so it's, you are actually, you have total, you're enjoying life of 11 million, and you are saying I'm in loan of 9 million, so I don't have to give zakah. This is problematic. Clear? There's a chat. Is tax credit from government on zakat, we donate zakat eligible as well? So this is confusing to me. What we're saying on the zakat, on the zakat calculation day, any money you own. So let's talk about this specific one. So you got the tax credit from the government, right? Tax credit from the government, and that money is in your hand on that day. So put this way more clearly. We have time. Okay, so on the zakah calculation, the day before zakah calculation day, just day before zakah calculation day, in your account, an amount of money came from the government, the tax as a tax credit of $500, $1,000, $2,000. Now this is your money, right? It's your money on the zakat calculation, and on the zakat calculation day, it is setting on your account, or you just cash it on that day. As long as on zakat calculation day that money is there and is your money, right? Then it has to be added. But if the tax credit came on the name of your wife, then in your account you don't add that amount. It's in your wife account you pay zakat. She will add this one in calculation. Does it make sense?
Assalamu alaikum.
On Islam, Jim.
I have a question about RESP. So if
Yes.
it's a joint account for a family, and this is like from my wife and I both contribute in there. So when I calculate the Jaka, is it gonna be half and half? So calculate 50% of that.
RESP or RRSP?
RESP for the children.
RESP, according to, correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding, RESP, you open the Zakat account, RESP account against a child. It's not combined account. Am I right?
No, it can be family account. So if you have 3 children, it could be a combined account for 3 children. It doesn't have to be each of them or the like equal contribution there. Possible,
Good
and you can withdraw whatever amount you need for your first child.
First of all, this is we need to today our iftar time 8:03. So because of this, we'll talk later. But very important, this RESP money, if it is, you can cash it and you can get it. So then you need to decide who owns it. This is all about who owns the money. My understanding, RESP, even though I'm contributing and my wife is contributing, but we open against the child. So child owns that money. We don't own this money. It's for child. So zakat should be given on behalf of child, not on behalf of us. We don't claim this money, right? Until we don't claim this money, zakat should be given by children. So you can do one, that this at the combined account for 3 children, you say, okay, equally it will be divided by 3, or you can say 20%, 40%, 40%, whatever you decide. And that ownership, based on that ownership, zakat should be given based on behalf of them. But if you say, no, we are owners, then you need to, any joint account, this is not only for this joint account, any joint account, we say second category, we say cashable. So in some account is joint account, and you say, okay, now we do know in our joint account that much money is there. So who should add this in their zakat calculation? Anything in joint, especially if it is RESP, RRSP, whatever it's a joint account, you guys need to decide. Like we say, we need to know how much, what kind of gold you have and what category. You need to know before. Same thing, that you need to know this joint account means what, who owns what. See, if you own 100% of that account, doesn't matter who is contributing, but you own, we agreed on, then you need to pay zakat on this. It will come to your zakat calculation. If it is 50-50, zakat calculation will be 50-50, and then based on this, zakat will be given. I'm sorry that we do not have much time today. It's 8:03. We need to make dua, inshallah. But if you have question, hold on to it. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll discuss this, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Malik Yawmuddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. I'm posting my phone number here. If anyone has question related to zakah, you can text me instead of phoning me, inshallah. Okay. اللهم آمين. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. اللهم اشفنا واشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى من القول والفعل والعمل والنية، إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته، ولا هما إلا فرجته، ولا دينا إلا قضيته، ولا مريضا إلا شفيته، ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم تقبل صلاتنا وصيامنا وقيامنا وركوعنا وسجودنا ومن جميع أعمال الصالحات يا رب العالمين. Today this time is a special time because it's Friday evening as well as before iftar. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anything you want with firm belief that Allah will listen to our dua. Allahumma تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان يا أرحم الراحمين. يا حي يا قيوم يا حنان يا منان. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So it's iftar time 8:03 in Brantford, and you follow your own iftar time. Anyone who is not within our time zone, please don't think that is iftar time for you. Okay, inshallah. Tomorrow, inshallah, I'm hoping to be in Dawah Center, and from there I will be live. And inshallah, in Brantford Mosque, we'll have the from YouTube, inshallah. They will play, and so people who are in the Brantford Mosque, they will directly listen from upstairs.